Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is the Tank Top Sage. It's Joshua against the time goal.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody listening?
He's unmuted.
This week. Yeah, not this week.
Not this week, nah. Hey.
Happy to be here.
Same.
Fresh off watching the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Sorry, Eagles.
What a game. I'm not sorry.
Well, neither.
Fuck y'all.
Neither am I.
Nick Sirianni thought he was so cool.
Oh, my God. Prancing. He was just doing... He was like, yeah, underdogs.
Yeah. Oh, man. He thought he was an underdog so much.
Yeah. But he was not. Well, I guess he was, in theory.
No.
All right, fair
enough. They had a better record.
That's true. Well, anyway, congratulations to the Chiefs, I guess. Brian's not with us today. Coincidence? My Hero Academia is also not here today?
Wow.
Interesting.
That's pretty consistent.
Interesting. No, but he'll be back next week for sure. We have a really short week. I don't know what that means for the length of the podcast because I feel like we always say it's going to be short, but it's usually not. But we only have 3 series today. We are down Black Clover. We are down My Hero Academia, as you know, and we don't have any monthlies or Chainsaw Man yet. So this week is going to be relatively easy. We're going to just take it easy this week and do these 3 series, and we'll pay for it next week because I believe we have almost everything next week. So, we'll have
Hunter rest in peace.
Yeah, we won't have Hunter and Jujutsu Kaisen next week, but we will have monthlies and the rest of the lineup. It looks like. But yeah, let's get into this show. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me on that, especially because my new project, my new podcast, The Shweekly, is dropping on February 20th. It's a comedy podcast, scripted. I did with my buddy Poopy Rubin. That is his pen name. He decided to go by that. But we wrote and did this. We started it in April, and it's finally coming out last April, and it's finally coming out now. So follow me on Instagram, and you know what? Follow the show's Instagram. It's we already have an Instagram and a TikTok. It's at The Shweekly. That's TheSchweekly. I think I got that. So,
LOL.
Yeah. I hope you follow it. I hope you like it. I'm at the stage where I hate it, but that's only because I've been right up close to it for a year. So check it out. And that's it. That's all the plugs I have. I won't plug the other show too much on here. I just thought I'd let you guys know. Josh, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. At New Jump City Josh. That's on Twitter. And the same on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
If you see me floating around, I'm going to respond to you.
Yeah. Brian, you can find him at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the boy. He's a good boy. Follow him. And if you like streaming and you like watching people play video games, he plays video games for the general public at twitch.tv/itspunchline. I believe he plays League of Legends or some shit. I think that's his game right now. So if you like that, check out his Twitch. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram, and on TikTok. Why not? It's on there too. If you want to contact us in any way for any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, feedback on the show, anything at all, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any of that stuff. Or you can comment under the full version of the podcast that we put out, or the little highlight breakouts that we cut out for every series that we cover. Let us know what you guys think about the series, what you think about the show. And like Josh said, he lurks and he responds. So check it out. And while you're at it, while you're commenting your thoughts and stuff, why don't you give us a subscribe to the show, so you get stayed up to date on the video version of the podcast. On top of that, we do the really good chapter of the week poll on YouTube now, in our community tab. It goes up the Sunday or Monday after the new chapters drop on the Viz website, because we are official release boys here. We support our mangaka because it's a good idea if you can support, and it's free usually to support. Like the first 3 chapters, the newest three chapters of every series are available on Jump for free. So it's an easy way to support, I guess. So that's why we do it that way. And you can vote for your favorite series on the poll, and we'll announce the winner this week. We have a definitive winner this week, so that's good to know. And we'll announce it when we get to that series. But for now, and if you prefer audio podcasts, of course, goes without saying, we're pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on that shit. We have a link in the bio to our various podcast pages of the audio version, so if you are so inclined, check those out. I usually have the descriptions, links in the description for easy access. And I think that's it, right? Audio version of the podcast usually goes out faster. That's just another perk to subscribing on any of those. So without further ado, that's it. That's enough self-promotion. Let's get into the show. One Piece. This is One Piece. Ooh, yeah, we did. This is One Piece chapter 1074, MK3, or I think, is it Mark 5? Mark 3? MK3 is what the title is literally. We get a cover page update. It is still like a flashback to the young days of the Mads experiment group, and I'm only really keeping tabs of this particular title page because I feel like it's really going to tie into what's happening currently. I feel like we've never had a title page that ran so concurrently with what's going on right now, or was so relevant to what's happening right now. So I feel like something's gonna spring from this, because we've already learned a couple things from this going forward. I'd like to note here that it's basically like a young queen, Caesar Clown, and Vince Smoke Judge all fighting in a perpetual war to be number 2, because they know they can't even remotely compete with Vegapunk. That's a lost cause. He's number 1, undisputed. So it's very. I'd like to note how much, I don't know why, but I really feel like this is the most like Sanji Judge has ever looked in this little panel here, but maybe that's just me. I just see Sanji in that moment, but that's all I gotta say about that. It's interesting. A little bit. I just saw like a vision of Sanji. We start the chapter in the Fabrio phase of the the island of Egghead, which is kind of the lower level of the island. There's the Fabrio phase and the Labo phase, where all of the Straw Hats are currently hiding at. The government agents that have invaded Egghead are now contending with a new form of the PX1s, known as the PX3s, and these seem to be super duper advanced versions of the PX1s that basically decimated pre-time skip Straw Hat pirates. So
super
duper.
Okay.
Someone tries to shoot them with a cannon, but they're blocked with these strange bubble powers. And I saw that, and they mentioned there were like powers. They say it's a bubble shield. Oh, it's Vegapunk's invention. So that puts a dash on like my little mini theory that I was thinking of, but I knew it wasn't possible. I was like, do they have like the soap fruit powers? Because like It was like
Oh
bubbles.
wow, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. But no, it's apparently at some point Vegapunk invented a bubble shield, which is I guess the strongest shield in the verse currently, outside of Bartholomew's barrier fruit. Mm. But in any case, these regular ass government agents are having safe to say a struggle with the PX3s. They're not doing great, and they're like, "Who's even fucking pacifistas can't act on their own? Who's giving it orders?" And we discover that Sentomaru survived his attack, saying, making the rule known that if you don't see a One Piece character confirmed dead, he's alive. They're alive, you know. Sentomaru made it just barely, and he's basically commanding the PX3s. And he, in this moment, he's just like putting it all together. He can't get in touch with Vegapunk because it seems like the government is now looping the transmissions that are not allowing them to communicate with each other and getting updates from Vegapunk and so on and so forth. So Sentomaru takes it upon himself to activate all 50 of the remaining Pacifista MK3s and just deploying them to help out the Straw Hats. I do want to take a moment to comment that Sentomaru, I never thought I'd like him because I thought he was like a huge stickler for the government, but he's really coming through for Vegapunk right now. I really respect that in a way. I was like, oh, all right, I see it.
There's not too much hesitation either.
No,
you know,
very little. He's just like, well, I guess that's what it is. Fuck the government. And I'm like, good for you, man.
I'm gonna ride with my friend that actually saved my life.
Yeah, good for him, man.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. So he commands the PX3s to make sure that the Straw Hats and Vegapunk get off the island successfully. Speaking of which, we cut back to the Labo phase where Luffy has realized that Bonnie and Vegapunk are missing. The hover boots that Luffy is currently wearing have run out of gas, or they broke. So Luffy's just been running around all over the Labo face and has worn himself out basically. So they're like, "Oh my god, what happened to her? Where'd they go? Are they missing?" And Shaka's just like, "Bonnie? Oh, Bonnie's here." It was like, "Wait, what?" You can see her. She's right there on the monitor. He's like, "Mention that." He's like, "She's been here the whole time." He's like, "I've been looking for them." At that point, that's when Stussy, Zoro, and Brook make it to the Labo phase in their decked out egghead character designs. And basically, Shaka lays out the situation for them right now. Although they know where Bonnie is, the main body of the Vegapunks is missing currently. And the other new piece of news since the last chapter is that they've lost control over the Frontier Dome. So that big laser shield that they had that kept Kaku out is now applied to them as well, and they can't get out because of that shield. So they have to figure out what's going on right now. The first things first, they have to find the Stella, and Shaka's going to find a way to repair the dome and regain control. Frankie is just like, well, what's the point of looking for Vegapunk if your all-seeing monitors don't see them? And Shaka points out is like, normally I would have a full view of everything in the lab, but some of the cam snails that are around have either lost conscious or have left their station as a result of the Seraphim causing damage to them earlier. So, you know, he has the other satellites running around the lab looking for him. And, you know, that's that. Pythagoras, for example, is currently looking on the third floor as he reports in that there's no sign of Vegapunk on the third floor. And at that point, that's when Nami breaks off and is like, all right, let's go find him, I guess. I mean, we can't leave without him. I think it's implied that she takes Brook and Jinbei. Stussy also decides to break off and look for Vegapunk, to which Sanji immediately follows her, of course. Zoro is just like, I guess I'll look for her too. To which the Straw Hats immediately stop him and is like, no, you're going to get lost. If you go looking for Vegapunk, who's going to go looking for you? So they convince Zoro to stay behind with Luffy. And apparently Kaku and Lucci are also there, knocked out in the Labo phase. So
I mean,
it,
good thing they stay behind, right?
yeah, so they're basically sitting there and they're like, I don't even know what they're talking about, but geez, how long were you running around at max effort? And Louis like, I'm always at max effort. And they're kind of reminiscent. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe we ran into these guys again. I haven't even thought about Water 7 in ages. I hope Ice Guy is doing well. And that was a nice little thought.
Ice Guy.
Iceberg.
Who?
Iceberg, the mayor from Water 7. The guy that was like had an assassination attempt on him, Frankie's like surrogate brother, kind of, sorta. Iceberg, you know Iceberg. You know, the one who's like the head of the shipwrights people, and also the mayor of the town.
Long time.
Damn, it has been a long time though. Well, it was a nice little mention, I guess. Meanwhile, back at the PAW room, the paw room, we get a little like reminder that Bonnie has decided to touch the giant pawpaw fruit paw to look into the memories of Kuma and find out what the hell is his deal and why he decided to become a lifeless android. So he does that, and we see that Bonnie has like basically kicked Vegapunk out of the room. And the very next thing we see is Bonnie apparently in this weird grassy field, and we see her with encounter this crying giant child. Well, not giant, but I guess like relative to, regular people, regular children. He's a giant. So he's just sitting there in this open grassy field, just crying his eyes out.
That's a big boy.
Oh yeah, that's a big boy. And Bonnie recognizes him as her father, obviously. And at that point, that's when we see these shadowy figures surround Kuma and basically say that if you get back here right now, if you escape, they'll kill every last one of us. And Kuma's like, I don't want to go back. And they basically drag him all the way back to what looks like Marie Joie. And that's no good when you have to be dragged back to Marie Joie. We see
He's probably a slave.
Oh yeah, and we see the silhouettes of what look to be celestial dragons, and they're doing bad things to the child, and it's very sad. Bonnie is just reeling in watching her dad in his youth just be abused and beaten, and the pain seems to be so intense that it actually like pushes her out of the paw thing, and
But she can't handle it.
No, yeah, because from what I understand, she's probably also experiencing the pain to a degree, at least the emotional pain. But we also get, as Bonnie is looking at the paw, we also see like interspliced the Kuma, the PX, the original Kuma body climbing up the red wall towards Marie Joie, as people below are trying to prevent him from climbing all the way back up. Bonnie just is like, this isn't something I can bear unless I'm ready, but I can't move on unless I learn the truth. And, we see her hand being stretched out, assuming that she's going to try to see more into the shockwave paw of Kuma's memories. At that point, we cut back to Pythagoras, the fourth Vegapunk satellite, who's just walking around looking for Vegapunk, and I don't know what floor he's on specifically, but he seems to be on the floor where the Seraphim were originally created. And he's like, Stella, where are you? The Stella is what they call the original body of Vegapunk. And behind him, there's this little noise that goes ka-tuk. And Pythagoras looks back, and all of a sudden, huge explosion where he's standing. And
he just says,
You
noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
And then exclamation points.
Maybe it was like a very short, like,
maybe. I was calm.
And so he gets blown up, and then we cut to something completely unexpected. We cut back to the World Economic Journal headquarters that's floating in the air as Big News Morgans has seemed to have somehow gotten the word that the world government is now trying to assassinate Dr. Vegapunk. And he's basically like, oh my God, this is the Ohara incident all over again. But the government's picked the wrong fight this time. Everyone loves Vegapunk. This guy developed energy that brought light to every town in the fucking world. And he just happens to be with this guy. And we revealed that he knows that Vegapunk's with Luffy. And he pitches a headline framing Luffy for basically saying that he's waging all-out war with the world government and holding Vegapunk hostage. So that I guess he's trying to win the favor of the government back and gain some moolah while he's at it. And I guess off screen we hear a noise, someone yelling in protest, saying, "What a preposterous excuse!" And we see that Nefeltari Vivi has been with them the whole time. It's a big deal. And she's there just being like, that's fucking ridiculous. Luffy would never do something like that. This is why I hate the World Economic Journal. And we also see that King Wapol is there.
Nice.
So he's
big
freaking
deal alert. EDA. EDA. Big deal alert.
Big deal alert. Foreshadowing alert. So Wapol's just like, stop fucking rocking the boat here. They're hiding us from the government. Who knows what they'll do next? He's just pleading for her to chill so that they won't be thrown out of the fucking hot air balloon they're riding in. And Morgans is like, bah, don't fucking come strong to me now. You were crying your eyes out yesterday. This is the news world. This is the newsroom of the world, and I'm the mover and the shaker. It's not about fact or fiction. It's about what sells. News is the biggest entertainment of all, baby. So that's interesting.
Wow. That sounds very familiar and realistic.
Yeah, isn't that fucking the truth in a way? But anyway, Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1074?
When I'm trying to decide if this was my favorite chapter, but I feel like because I had to think so hard about it, wasn't.
It's okay if it wasn't.
This was an informative chapter. I let's talk about it. So, first of all, when I opened the chapter, it started on the last page, but it was kind of cool because I didn't know it was the last page. All I seen was that Morgan was there, and there was some girl up top. Now, thank goodness Oda still draws all his females the same, because that honestly could have been anybody.
It truly could.
So I didn't know that was Vivi. I didn't read that it said Nefeltari Vivi or nothing like that. I knew that guy was somebody, but I had to scroll back, from the pages to get back to page 1. So I wasn't even spoiled. That's so funny. I'm going back from the beginning. I'm trying to regain my thoughts because this is a pretty thick chapter. So these PX3s, I mean, they named the chapter, PX3. So these niggas is gonna be problematic at some point, but the Seraphims are already a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is this is what's gonna be the war, right? This it's gonna be a bunch of pirates fighting against these things, isn't it?
It's these things,
and Seraphims,
the admirals, the vice admirals,
yeah, and the rest of the government fodder.
Yeah, the rest of the government fodder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what's on the government side, I guess, is the power of science and advanced weapons of mass destruction.
Oh shit! Yeah, they do have Pluton, right?
No, they don't have Pluton. Do they have Pluton? They don't have Pluton. They have Uranus.
That's what Okay, yeah, that's what they have. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Well, they don't have my anus.
No, they don't, Chris. Well, they don't have mine either. So
Yeah. I'm trying to find the
I don't know what we're supposed to do there. Well, look.
It's a little late, but I did it.
I have no fucking clue what attacked the robot kid, but I don't think the government's already there. I think their island's already been infiltrated.
Oh yeah.
But you know, we'll see. Situation with. So that's definitely Kuma as a kid, and yeah, he is large, but he's not giant large.
Yeah,
this
he's
isn't
like
a whole.
He's like a bigger boy.
The whole. Right.
He's not a giant. He's not from Elbaf.
But Big Mom's a giant.
No, she's not.
Oh, she's just large.
Yeah, she's just
I don't
big.
know why I keep saying that. So cool. So they're both just big.
Yeah, they're both just big people. Like giants are like markedly bigger than Big Mom.
True. Big Mom can't walk on the ocean floor.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, San Juan Wolf can because he's the biggest giant. So normal giants couldn't do that.
Oh, okay. But he's that tall.
San Juan Wolf is that big.
Can't wait till they have to fight him.
Oh,
I hope they
God.
give him devil fruit powers.
Oh my God. I don't even know how they would beat him now without it. He's just so fucking big.
Talk about menacing when he was introduced.
Yeah.
He was just looming.
Dude, when he was like,
I think
you
I
found me,
this
he was hiding
every
behind
month.
he was hiding up behind the whole
Yeah.
building.
He was like, wait, you see him? You know, like the random soldiers.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what's that over there? What's that thing?
What the fuck is
He's
that?
Like,
Whoa.
You got me. You found me.
Goddamn, the Blackbeard pirates are crazy. They
They're
go so
fucking
hard,
crazy.
man.
The ex-admiral with the cigar and the crazy jawline.
But yeah, Shiryu.
You know he's a real hard ass back in his day.
Yeah, he was
he definitely cut some corners.
Yeah, no, he was such a hard ass.
His own rules.
He was such a hard ass. They put him in level 6 of Impel Down. So you stay down here. This is crazy. Anyway, do you have any more?
Imagine he ever.
Oh, sorry.
No, wait. Remember that conversation we had a couple weeks ago about My Hero Academia and responsibility when we were talking about things? This isn't one of those situations, but it definitely made me think about it. So Big Morgan says it's not about fact or fiction, it's about what sells. News is the biggest entertainment of all, baby. So I'm not gonna say that he's lying, that's the I mean, news it can be entertaining. You know? I mean, factual information can be entertaining as well. I just want to be clear when I see Morgan as a villain now.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. He is a bad guy. And also one of the worst kinds of bad guys.
Yeah, Morgan's...
There's a certain amount of integrity that comes with being a reporter, that it's not about being inherent to be a reporter. I just respect the ones that are solid, and put in the work to let people know what's going on and deliver us facts. When we talk about, whenever we talk about anything in the news, you're not always going to be able to talk about everything that's happening in the world. You know what I'm saying? In like a half an hour segment or something like that. So you're always going to choose to leave out some information. Just by nature of the fact that you're limited on time. So, this guy is saying he omits information for the sake of entertainment. That's bad. That's not okay in any way, shape, or form. That's irredeemable. He needs to go down.
Oh yeah.
That better be Vivi's arc that she takes over the news industry.
Yeah, I think she would have a country to run and probably not be able to do that. But
That's not as important.
okay. You're right then. It's interesting. I feel like Morgan's when he was like first really like when we got a first glimpse into his character when he actually like activated the balloon and started flying away and he knocked out the CP0 member for trying to get him to like to tell a fake story on behalf of the government, and he was like, no, I wouldn't do that. But I feel like now we're seeing him be more from a chaotic kind of good as what we initially thought to a chaotic neutral. I feel like
Not cute.
yeah, he's not on anybody's side but his own. And I feel like we knew that, but now it's for real. Now it's a
I
negative.
hate that whole chaotic new. You know what? That the whole premise of it is fucking retarded.
Is it?
Oh shit! I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't say that.
It's pretty chaotic
But,
neutral of you.
Okay, look. It's what's neutral about it? There's nothing neutral about what he's doing. He's serving himself, which is evil. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? That is bad. I don't understand how we can
Yeah, I mean,
paint it as it being good.
I didn't make the
It's
system,
not.
so I don't
He's
know.
not. No,
No.
not you. This ain't to you. I'm just thinking
Well,
about it. Like
I'm not painting it as good. I don't think it's necessarily good. I guess I feel
in the
like it makes
context of the story.
Yeah.
As far as who we know as the villains
hmm
to be framed, as far as looking at it like on an ethical level.
Yeah, I guess the way it is that you don't have any particular allegiances to what are the absolute temples of lawful good and lawful evil, or and what's the worst one? Bad evil? I don't know what it's called. But I guess like chaotic neutral would be like you serve yourself regardless of whether your intentions are good, because Morgan's technically did one good thing by not allowing the government to bribe him into telling a story that would outright benefit them only. But he's also doing something bad by lying about the Straw Hats to benefit himself. But he's also not doing it for the government's sake, so they can thrive and continue doing what they're doing. He's doing it probably to get them off his back a little, and also to get some money for his own publication so he can continue to be profitable on his own. And that's evil, sure. That's like not a good thing to do. But
Seems like he's base evil. And sometimes his actions just so happen to help out the quote unquote good guys.
yeah, that's chaotic neutral.
Sure. I guess.
That's chaotic neutral, I guess.
It's just weird.
When
it's
there's no
weird.
also it also implies
either good or bad, you know,
because there's
I mean?
also an implicit like, you know, I'm doing this kind of like on a whim, and it's not like necessarily pretty pre-planned. That's why I put him in the chaotic section, where he's usually like reacting based on the information he receives, and his actions after receiving that information could help the evil side or the good side. So at any given time,
in the context of the story, right? As far as looking at it as this group of people is evil and this group of people is good. In a simplistic sense, it makes total sense.
Because in theory, by publishing Luffy's Gear 5 form and revealing that he has the Nika fruit, he's given hope to a lot of people who believe in Nika and is like, oh shit, the freedom guy is here. And that
he is ethically flawed.
Yes.
He is morally compromised.
Absolutely.
Therefore, listen, I'm not saying people are perfect, but he does this with the intent. So I don't.
The intent is to.
We could call it neutral, or we could say he's a fucking bad guy that sometimes can benefit the people, but he's.
That's what neutral is.
Ultimately, like.
It's based in self-interest is basically what it is. And, you could say that's
Self-interest is evil.
I guess it's more on the effect that it has on the world where like the neutral side of it is that he's either he can just like be good or bad for the world at any given point in time, depending on his self-interest, and that's what makes him neutral. Because if it was in his self-interest to fuck over the government at this very moment, he would do that. But it's not. So he's doing it to preserve himself.
And that's what I disagree with.
Which,
the
sure,
framing of that.
maybe
I don't
it's
think
evil.
that's neutral.
It's neutral.
I don't think neutral exists in a because all right, good and bad, good and evil aren't like forever truths. There's something with shit we make up. So it is black and white. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to deem what is morally okay and morally not. Now, there's people who we try to be the best we can and we make mistakes along the way. You know what I'm saying? But you're still a decent person if you try your best. You know what I'm saying? Even if you slip sometimes, you're a decent person. You're not neutral because you're good and then make mistakes. Would you agree with that? Like, you're a good person. Hey, you're not a neutral person.
Sure. No, you're
right.
No, that's a good person, but your neutrality comes from like Morgan's neutrality comes from he's not trying to be a good or a bad person. He's just like in this instance, he's trying to benefit himself.
Is this literary? Is this not to be applied to real people?
It's kind of a
D&D. Am I thinking too hard on this?
Yeah, it's a D&D. It's D&D terminology. The characters you create.
Oh my god! You should have started with that, bro. I'm sorry, because I was trying to say that from the beginning. Like
yes,
in the
nobody.
Story, if you're looking at it like, all right, there's the objective good people and bad people. Because obviously,
let me look up the
government is.
Let me look up the alignments.
The government's the bad guys in the show, right? I mean, in the series.
Yes.
Right,
I believe the world government.
I feel bad.
I feel like the world government lies. If you're looking at the D&D like that chart, I believe that the government lies in lawful evil. And the Straw Hats. Let me see. I don't actually remember the entire D&D.
Lawful. Yeah, I'd love to have this breakdown. I guess we don't have to do it right now, but that's interesting to me.
Okay, the alignments. Okay.
What's lawful evil? Like you?
Okay,
evil with rules. I'm gonna be an asshole, but I'm gonna be predictable about it.
Okay, so here's the alignment. Here's the alignment grid. It starts with lawful good, a lawful good character, and this is the D&D example stuff.
Sure.
A lawful good character is the iconic example of lawful good, which is a paladin, which ironically I play when I play D&D.
On purpose, or that's what happens?
What do you mean?
Do you get selected?
No, you don't.
Do you select that class,
or
does it?
You don't really select. It's just a thing that people add, I guess. I don't really know how it plays. Neutral good. A neutral character believes in altruism over all else. I don't know what that means necessarily, but there are examples.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means necessarily either.
So lawful good is Superman. Think Superman. And these are just like examples of people who kind of fall into this. Neutral good, when they're showing the guy from Firefly. I don't know him. I never really watched Firefly. Neutral good is, this is if I ever kill you, you'll be awake, you'll be facing me, and you'll be armed. So, I don't know. It's hard to explain neutral good.
Yeah, it sounds so fucking romantic.
Chaotic good is...
in the nerdiest way.
Chaotic good sounds like the Straw Hats. Chaotic good is... a chaotic good character believes in freedom as the highest virtue. The iconic example of chaotic good is Robin Hood, who rebels against authority as a way to protect the poor from poverty and suffering. So that's the Straw Hats, I think. We have then chaotic neutral. Oh, wait, we have lawful neutral. Let's see. What's lawful neutral? Lawful neutral character obeys the principle of the highest virtue. For example, a judge who treats all fairly and equally would be considered a lawful neutral. A true neutral a true neutral character is neutral on both axes and cares not for any stance of alignment. This often describes someone who cares only for their own personal needs, neither inclined to hurt or harm others, nor to obey or rebel. A few neutral characters rather follow an intentional philosophy of balance. And they give a bunch of D&D specific examples. But in this thing, true neutral is some kind of tree creature. I have no idea what this is. But a chaotic neutral is chaotic neutral character follows their heart, but without the willingness to self-sacrifice as a chaotic good character might. A great many adventures are chaotic neutral, doing what they wish and rejecting all forms of authority. Some chaotic neutral characters follow a deliberate philosophy of destroying the old to make way for the new. A free spirit. So Jack Sparrow is kind of an example of a chaotic neutral. Then we get into the evils, which is a lawful evil. The lawful evil is a tyrant, basically. They have no moral qualms about punishing individuals for the greater goal of furthering society. So, the world government, I guess, if you were to think of them that way. The neutral evil character is selfish and has no problem harming others to get what they want, which maybe is what Morgan's falls into more than anything, is a neutral evil. Chaotic evil is a malevolent character. The Joker is a chaotic evil. And that's all the alignments as we know them. That was a lot. That was a lot to get into.
Yeah, it's I wonder what people in the comments would have to say about that, about applying that to real life. I think that's a little.
No, I mean I wouldn't apply it to.
Not all of it's applicable.
No, yeah. I wouldn't apply it to. I'm applying it because it's interesting to always apply it to like narrative characters. I guess it's like an interesting way. It's a fun game to play in a way sometimes. It's like who lies where.
For sure, because characters play a role in stories and their devices themselves.
Yeah, you look for tropes within characters.
Categorize them.
Yeah, you look at tropes within characters and put them in this bin if you wanted to do that. That's what I was trying to do with Morgan's. I wouldn't apply the D&D alignments to like real things or people. But yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about Morgan's D&D alignment. I feel like we went off on a tangent, but hey, it was educational. We have some time.
It was educational. I learned a lot.
Yeah, I would suggest looking it up. It is interesting to read about and trying to figure out. Sometimes I think I play that game with myself where I try to figure out where on the alignment certain characters fall. I think all the Straw Hats are for sure chaotic goods.
Yeah.
Which
is
good.
Fair.
Honestly,
only
my favorite kind of goods.
Chaotic means bucking tradition.
Yes.
Kind of breaking free of conventions.
Yeah.
Almost in a way.
Yep.
So whether they're doing something good, whether they're being neutral, or whether they're being evil, they're doing it in a way that's completely obtuse to the rules of
the world,
mm-hmm. or whatever, for the most part,
right?
In a literary sense,
yeah. Because a lawful good would be the Navy for the most part, like Smoker, Kobe. Those guys are lawful goods technically.
Can I be honest with you? I immediately started thinking about like activism.
Yeah.
When I looked at like the scope on like, lawful, neutral, and chaotic, right? And I'm like, a part of me thought, do people look at these charts and then apply this to people and say like, oh, like that's a good person, but he's that type of good, so he's less good. I don't know. I wonder if people kind of fall into those habits, and I guess I wouldn't be that shocked, nor it would be understandable. It's similar to like horoscopes or something in a way, but there's at least there's a little bit more solid reasoning to it other than just saying that this sign says that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think most people know about the D&D alignments because I don't know how many people play D&D like that.
I see a lot of it online though.
Probably.
I see a lot of
Yeah.
like the charts and stuff,
Yeah.
and I see people kind of talk about it a little bit in a way. But like I was saying, like when I look at activists, especially like in America, the ones that actually got anything done, any type of real activist, and I got something done in America, would probably be considered as like definitely on the chaotic side of however you want to look at it. Like, people could look at it as chaotic good. I guess business people would look at it as chaotic bad because they was able to set a lot of regulations after people fought for them. So and I guess it's just kind of weird because it's just like no, that's just good. If people, if people have had a conversation about it and try to categorize that in a certain way, I would like go out my way to tell them like, nah, man, it's just all the way good. That's called necessary good. That's called when good ain't good enough, you gotta good in another way. you gotta good to the extreme.
Good to the extreme.
Until you force them to be good.
What's the other word for?
Yeah, that one's getting written down.
What's the other word for the extreme? Chaotic good. I don't think there's a negative connotation to chaotic good.
It kind of is.
Not really.
By virtue of all right, because
all it means is that the way I see it is that like lawful good is you doing good through the system that you're operating within. If you're able and you manage to actually ream the good out of whatever system you operate within, like Superman does. It's hard. That's why mostly nobody plays lawful good, I think. But
he doesn't play by the rules.
Well, not always, but I guess like he
doesn't at all.
In the big trope thing, he's the ideal of a good person, traditionally good. G. Willikers do the right thing. The ideal of good within a system is how most people see Superman. That's why a lot of people call him Boy Scout, all this stuff. The people who are not as familiar with Superman as we are, see him as that. And that's why he's kind of the de facto example for the lawful good. Chaotic good is, you're breaking out of the system to do good. You realize that you can't do good in the system, so you do it your own way. Like the Straw Hats do. Like pretty much most protagonists in anything. Like Superman, kind of, sort of. To a small degree, Batman.
Yeah. And then neutral good would just be like...
True neutral. Neutral good is true neutral, I believe. Oh, no. Lawful neutral is a character that obeys principle as the highest virtue. I don't know. I guess like the idea of the judge, somebody who is impartial and just is by the book, principled.
Oh, the middle of the good ones.
I guess like the best case scenario of the impartial figure. These are ideals of each end of the spectrum of morality, I guess. So best case and worst case scenario of good, neutral, evil. Yeah, it's tough. It's hard to pontificate about in a podcast like ours. But yeah, it's interesting to look at. But yeah, chaotic good, I feel like, is Straw Hats. They're not bad people. They're pirates. They're criminals technically, but they're good people.
They're criminals within the system as it is at the moment,
but they still do good. Chaotic good.
Yeah. All right. I think that was a fun conversation.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have any more thoughts about One Piece?
No, I definitely don't.
Yeah. I thought the twist with Vivi was actually pretty crazy. I didn't see that coming. Because last we heard about Vivi, she was taken, and we just assumed that the world government took her. But it turns out this is actually low-key built up because we got a while back. I was reminded that like Morgan's got in contact with Wapol because he was feeding Wapple information about what happened at the Reverie, and that's how Morgans was able to report on it. And it turns out Wapple may have just taken Vivi and ran off in his most altruistic thing he's ever done. Like, the best person thing he's ever done in his entire life was probably save Vivi from the world's government. And I wonder why.
Yeah, that it does beg the question why.
Because he's an asshole. Wapple's not a good person. So I don't know. I'm very
Maybe he was scared of dying too.
Yeah, but why would he take
I
Vivi?
don't know. Right. That still don't make sense.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what happened here. In the case of Wapple, I mean, like, Oda does not waste characters. You know, he does not. He is the highest definition of use the whole animal. You know, if you create something, you use it. You're using everything. You're getting every bit of mileage out of it, and I love it. It's one of his best attributes.
Every character matters.
Yeah, and you never know when they're gonna matter. Out of his 250 characters, you never know which one's gonna come up and do something incredibly clutch and be very important to the story all of a sudden. But yeah, the stuff with Kuma, obviously he seems to be a former slave of Mary Joie. I wonder, because he may have like preceded Fisher Tiger trying to escape, or maybe he was just like one of the slaves that got away with Fisher, but he got separated with the pack and he was dragged back, because Fisher Tiger's thing happened a long time ago.
Yeah, that did.
Like, Hancock was a kid when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he was a prince, though. Like, you know, Kuma's royalty. So I wonder, if he was a slave, how do you go from slave to king back to slave, you know?
Right. Maybe, I don't know, man. I have no idea what was going on with him. He had a tough life.
Yeah, Kuma is... I already know, man. Kuma's got to be one of the more tragic characters in the story, and we don't even know his story yet. But we know that he's got some darkness he's battling right now. Even right now, I don't know at him as a dead robot. I don't know what his intentions are climbing up to Mary Joie.
No idea.
He could be
maybe he just wants to self-destruct.
Yeah, I mean, he could be going up there to go back to his duties, or he could be going there to fucking kill everyone, which I wouldn't mind. Go, Kuma, go. Fuck them celestial dragons.
Man, it would be so heartbreaking if he was going just to be back by their side.
Oh my god. What a fucking nightmare that would be. No, what
like
a
if he's like all broken up by the time he gets to them, and then they're getting ready to fight, and he's just like, I'm here at your service.
Bro.
And they scrap him anyway. Oh my god.
Oh my god. At that moment,
that'll get me going.
At that moment, I'd be like, yo, anybody who says like One Piece is too goofy, this is the saddest.
You goofy nigga.
Yeah, this
you
is the
goofy.
If that happens, this is the saddest story in the history of stories. Jesus Christ. But I hope we get more going forward. I'm so happy that One Piece is not off next week, and we get to see more of this brilliant story. We spent a long time on One Piece, but those are all my thoughts, really. I'm so excited. I love One Piece. It's not my chapter of the week. I guess it's very good, you know me, but I feel like there's more better things coming for One Piece, and I'm excited to see. Oda really likes to, I guess, really draw it out. He's really good at that. He's like, because things are happening, things are moving forward, but it also feels like it's going so slow at the same time. So I'm wondering, but that's all I got to say about One Piece. Do you have any rebuttals before we move on officially?
No.
Alrighty, let's go. Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm pass it off to Josh. This is Josh is gonna cover Jujutsu Kaisen for us. Go for it.
All right, Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 213, Fearsome Womb, part 5. Last week we were put the game on to how Megumi's sister became how do you say it? Infiltrated?
Possessed?
No. Possessed. There we go. She got possessed by an ancient sorcerer. Chris actually found out it was through very unsavory methods from Kenjaku. Would you like to share how he made
yeah.
Megumi's sister into a vessel?
Well, it was just kind of like a reminder on my part because I'm just getting past the Shibuya arc, in my reread of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was reminded of the fact that Kenjaku fed the remains of ancient sorcerers, to various people around Japan, which is why there have been so many ancient sorcerers running around all over the place. As Kenjaku had made deals with these guys centuries ago and then revived them in this time. And Sumiki was one of those people that is a vessel for these ancient sorcerers, obviously. And Megumi unfortunately assumed that she was actually one of the other type of sorcerer that Kenjaku awakened, which is people like Junpei, who initially were just normal people whose brains were not geared to process cursed energy and woke up with cursed technique and all that stuff. So, yep. Unfortunately for Megumi, and tragically for Megumi, he assumed that his sister was the first type, and not an ancient sorcerer revived by Kenjaku, and that really messed them up.
Did you mention the force feeding part?
Yeah.
Okay,
I said that Kenjaku had done
I-
that. Sumiki was obviously
right.
one of them. Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Pretty
Okay,
gross.
so we learned that Megumi's sister is an ancient sorcerer and that she wants nothing more but to fight Sukuna.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Sukuna pulled the maneuver, yelling out "N-Chain" to take over Itadori, and then shoved the finger down Megumi's throat, turning him into Sukuna. Here we are.
Oh yeah.
So he strikes a pose. He's like, "Ah, yes, my plan is working." So he's like, "Fushiguro? Bren?" And I guess his finger starts to throb and hurt. But before he even gets the chance to think about his missing finger, Kenjaku, what's his name again?
Sukuna.
Thanks, Chris. Sukuna punches Itadori as hard as he can in his chest. As he shoots out, he projectile vomits his guts out his mouth and gets sent through several buildings.
Yeah.
I think he killed Itadori.
I mean, it's looking like it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, all right, it would be surprising because obviously he's the main character of this series, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is Jujutsu Kaisen, not Itadori Kaisen.
That's true.
So then he says something real crazy, talking about how in every age it's insects that come crawling out of the woodwork whenever shit starts getting pop. Whenever shit starts to pop off. Maki's one of those people running towards him. I don't think he knows what time she's on, but they don't really get an opportunity to see what's up because he summons Nue. I didn't know he could use Megumi's curse techniques. That's really cool.
Yeah, summon a giant
like,
Nue.
Yeah, there's like
bigger Nue than
like
usual.
100 times the power. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And it's like big enough to cover maybe at least an eighth of the city.
Yeah, it's huge.
Just straight off the top of my head. That's what I'm going to go for. Yeah, it's fucking huge. Oh, man. Everyone looks up like, wow, what the fuck? And then, right. And then immediately that shit gets destroyed. It gets vaporized by the angel who, like Chris predicted, woke up promptly and started to fight against... he's like, oh, well, right. He starts to talk about how, unlike me and Itadori, those two live symbiotically. She regained consciousness quick because of the angel's power. Right, like they lend power to each other, like almost like the tail beast does in Naruto.
Yeah,
similar to that. So, angels, I forget the girl's name
Hana.
Actually. Huh?
Hana.
Anna.
Hana.
Yeah, Anna.
Hana.
Oh, with an H?
Yeah.
Hana is just telling Angel, like, yo, like, relax on the power because you're going to hurt Megumi. And, Angel doesn't really care. But she's also like, look, like, I'm not saying I'm trying to kill him, but we need to do this right now. No. right now. So you know, yeah. So she talks about how before she's actually trying to say now before he fully takes control over him, we gotta eliminate Sukuna from his body. So let's take the risk now. So she starts to load up her special move, Jacob's Ladder, which I did a little bit of research on, by the way. I'll get into
Ooh.
after a little bit, nothing crazy. And man, I see in what is a spectacular display of divine power. Sukuna starts to get in air fried
Bro,
in midair.
this is the most pressed I've seen Sukuna up to this point. This is the most pain I've seen him feel ever. He's just like, ah!
Is she blowing out of a trumpet right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it
Because
looks
she's
like
an angel.
Yeah, looks like a little trumpet.
He is getting exterminated. He says, Hana, I remember now. Thank you. I'm fine now. As it seems like Megumi, comes back to his senses, but obviously it's not him. And Angel's like, Hana, like, no, like that's not him. That's Sukuna. But she's so whoa. She's so yeah. And as I turn the page to what was probably the panel of the week.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So easily the panel of the week.
So easily. So Hannah, because she's so desperate for dick, she all right, that was mean. That was mean.
Mean but true.
It is true though. Yeah, she goes to hug him while he has the Sukuna tattoos on him clearly. Still. Like, do you not know how he looks?
Yeah.
What some type of fan you are. So she goes to give him a hug and goes right into his arms as he grips her and is about to literally eat her. I didn't know he could warp his face like that and shit.
Bro, he looks cracked out.
And then he has cursed eyes. You see the eyes?
Yeah. He took a perk 30.
All right. Yeah. Look at Nue's eyes. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see it, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Perk 30.
Perk 30. Huh?
Might be perk 60. It might be perk 60.
This looks like a perk 100.
Yeah.
Look at his head. Look at his face. He's so like, yes.
He's out there. Yes.
He's so happy right now.
Easy money.
Okay.
It's the way he's holding her too. Like,
yeah, this is incredible.
There's no way while the angel is screaming, Hannah, you're about to kill us both. You stupid.
Oh my god. Well, should I give my thoughts?
Yes, go ahead. That was the end of the chapter.
I mean, really good chapter of the week for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah, it's also the really good chapter of the week audience voting.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't have a lot of like Black Clover wasn't in, but it won pretty handily with 75% of the votes. So congratulations to it. Let me find the drop.
That's a convergence. Well, Brian's not here. So.
Yeah, Brian's not here.
Yeah. Why My Hero Academia been ducking so much smoke recently? They're taking a lot of weeks off.
2 weeks at this point.
We don't got that luxury.
Yeah, so technically, I was kind of right about everything that was going to happen next, which is the very first for this show. It happened a lot faster because Itadori did not last very long.
No.
My initial thought was Itadori was going to hold them off for a second, but then I forgot, oh yeah, this is Sukuna who eviscerated an eighth of Shibuya in a millisecond.
In a moment.
So I guess that was silly of me. So Itadori's out. He's alive. I would think he's alive. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's gonna do about this because Itadori doesn't have a cursed technique. He's just kind of like he fights with cursed energy, and he's just really good at doing that. So I don't know what he's gonna do here. I would love to see the comedian guy, Takaba, go after Sukuna because technically, I remember when they described his ability, is that he's unaware of how fucking powerful his ability is. That he has an ability that rivals Gojo. And if it rivals Gojo,
right,
then it rivals Sukuna.
Holy shit, you're right. It's like based on if you find it or if you don't laugh, he gets strong, right?
Yes.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
If you think his joke is funny, then he won't get strong.
I guess so. I think you have to find it genuinely funny in your heart for his curse technique to wear off. And look at his face when he finds out. Even that is almost unserious. Like his sensing danger face is like, oh,
whoa. Yeah, he doesn't take anything serious.
I'm super excited.
He's gonna fight and destroy Sukuna.
Oh my god, happen. I would be okay with that. I would be so cool with that, to be honest. How funny would that be? But I am excited to see what the fuck happens next. The Angel is so fucking strong. Is strong as I thought. Sukuna, I feel like this is the first time Sukuna has not actively pursued fighting someone.
Right.
He's like in all of his appearances, he's always good for a fight. He took a couple hits from the Angel. He's like, no.
So I'm good on that.
No, thank you. I'll chill for a second. You could come here and I'll win through brute intelligence. I'll run through cunning and evilness.
He's got all the bags, like a bunch of tricks.
I'm starting to think that last panel as well. It's running for panel of the year in my eyes. I love that panel of him.
I'll write that down.
It's so fucking grimy where he's like, that's the epitome of gotcha. That's the epitome of got him. She's like, you dumb bitch.
Right. Gotcha. I just didn't expect that. I'd never seen him warp his head like that. I thought he was too cool for that, you know?
He warped his head a little bit when he first took over.
Nothing's too cool for him.
He warped his head a little bit when he first took over Itadori and he was stoked to be out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But this is crazy.
I'm going to go back to that first chapter.
Because I'm just picturing his head, because like the movement lines is that he stretched out his head so fast.
Yeah, that like really quick.
Yeah, he went. So I do love this last page. It's so funny, and I feel like on purpose. Like it was intentionally like kind of hilarious. And Gego Akutami was having a laugh with this, like, aha! Shirajuwa, I caught you.
Ja 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 ja.
Yeah, that was his ja 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 face. But yeah, I love this chapter, top to bottom. So many cool little moments here. Sukuna is fully released. I'm excited. I would hope that the Angel just doesn't die here. But Akutami has a penchant for realizing he's made characters too powerful and needing to eliminate them from the story. So I don't know. It either she goes down here or Angel takes over the same way Sukuna does. And is like, all right, now you're not gonna get me. You're not fucking fooling me. So, I just realized Jujutsu Kaisen's not next week.
Damn.
That sucks. But fantastic chapter, deserving of the Unified really good chapter of the week in my eyes. But Josh, what did you think?
Sure. This is what I thought. He said, please help me. Help.
That's how Jujutsu Kaisen lives in my head, rent free.
Yeah. The monster.
Yeah.
Jesus. And then the thing that keeps asking, what time is it? It's so scary.
Yeah, it's not.
It's statistically, what time is it? So I can kill you.
Yeah. No, but
right, let me stop reminiscing. I don't know. I actually don't have any extra thoughts for this chapter. outside of what we already discussed, man. It's such a fucking bummer that it's gonna be off next week. But I don't think Angel's about to die. Someone's about to save her. I really think the comedian's about to come in and cause a fucking problem, man. I think you're onto something, Christian Espinal.
I mean, I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll in predicting stuff, but
bro, you want to know what's crazy?
What?
Chapter 150 was Maki destroying her clan.
Yeah, yes, it was.
And we are at chapter
213.
Oh, 213? That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you did research on Jacob's ladder?
Yes. So that's a biblical story.
Of course.
All right. The gist of it is Jacob went to go set out to this village in Haran after a bunch of things went down in his own hometown with his brother and his father passing away. Lots of stuff. Point is, he went to sleep at some point on a rock, and then, like, in his dream, a ladder came down from heaven, and angels came down, and they were like, singing and playing. Well, I don't think they were singing, but they came down, and so did the light, and then God Himself came, and He was just like, Jacob, you must keep doing what I'm telling you to do. You have to keep going to Haran, and he was telling him how, like, when you get there, your family will be blessed and your deeds will be blessed, and they're gonna travel to basically it has to do with angels. That's why he named the move that. It was cool. I guess.
Nice. Hell yeah. Oh my god. What an attack, too. This is like the most extra attack in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
This is like the
just for it to not work.
Yeah. I mean, it worked, but she stopped. It was working, but she stopped doing it. But yeah, were those all your thoughts?
Yeah, that was my thoughts.
Yeah, fantastic chapter. Jujutsu Kaisen is amazing. But with that being said, I suppose we should move on then. Undead Unluck. And Josh is also going to take this one off my hands. Very nice of him.
Do you know a person named Rinkuto?
Rinkuto?
Yeah.
No.
Undead Unluck, chapter 146. I'm waiting for the manga to pull up.
Oh, so you're stalling.
iPad is very lag.
Okay, that makes sense then.
How's Blue Box been, bro?
I haven't been reading it, but it's still here, so it must be.
Are
pretty
you
good.
saying that to be funny, or?
I haven't read Blue Box in a while. It was good when I read it. It was good when I read it. Akane Banashi though.
Really?
I love that series. Sakamoto Days though.
Yeah, that's really good.
But seriously, Akane Banashi, give it some love. It's a non-battle series, so, and it's a very good one. So, if you
they get the paper fans and they bop 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 bop. They smack it a lot.
What?
And they tell stories.
Yeah, well, that's
You do that?
I don't know if they smack it a lot.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah, but it's a very good series.
Undead Unluck is also a really good series.
It sure is.
And last week they finally added Unavoidable Void Volks to the crew, and they also was able to get assigned. Well, they're ready to get their new mission in the next few weeks, and they also got the location of Remember, which happens to be in the middle of the Vietnam War.
Assuming,
or this manga's version of the Vietnam. So, the goal is to build up a couple squads of negators to go there, so that they could, one way or another, save all of the negators that are part of the war, and scour the land looking for the artifact. So there's a lot of plans there. Okay, but this week we I kind of got thrown off at the beginning of this
because
of where they left off. I was like, "Hey, did I miss something?" But we have Undraw actually, who I remember in the previous loop was a very old lady, which I thought she was still old here, and I was like, why is she always old? Isn't I know she was young at some point,
Yeah.
right? But anyway, um, so she's like dealing with the Uma right now. I guess the shark Uma, the spike Uma,
Yeah, Spike, I guess. I don't really know.
cut Uma, and she's like not allowing him to attack with any of his blades because she's Undraw. But she's like dying. She's like withering away. That's why she looks old right now. And he's like, yes, finally, you're gonna die, and I can go raise this what is it? Raise this village, amongst other horrible things. So Fuko pulls up though, hits him with a bad bullet, which he catches with his mouth. Easy mode. Damn, that was easy. Yeah, he caught that shit with his mouth. While Fuko pulls up to Miss Yusei, who is Undraw, and covers her in her cloak, and she's like, "Oh, like how do you know who I am?" She's like, "Look, just relax for a second." As a lightning bolt comes down from the sky, that wasn't sent by God, because that guy in this series not on the good guy's side.
No bueno.
God is what we would call chaotic
Evil?
Lawful evil? See what I'm talking about? He's just evil. He's just evil. He's the worst.
Yeah. But which kind of evil is he?
Chaotic.
Does he
neutral, and
operate
lawful.
within a system? Or does he...
And he operates within the system and outside of it.
Well,
like
they
a
do
true
have a system.
capitalist.
They are playing a game between Luna and God.
But he also cheats.
Well, I don't know if he cheats.
Well, anyway, the shark owner gets fried by a lightning bolt, like the sausage, egg, and cheese I ate this morning. And Fuko shrugs it off. Like she gets shocked too, but because they had the cloak on, she didn't get hurt. And yeah, Yusei joins the crew, of course.
Yeah.
She really admires. Like, did we take a couple pages to see how she really admires Fuko? She could tell that she's got a little spark to her, and that she's someone worth listening to and leading. She also fills her in on the plan, let her know, look, we got to build a squadron of Gators. So is you with it, or is you with it?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, I'm with it. Next up is Ishin. But not the Ishin we know and love. Her fucking grandfather. Yeah.
Because they're still in the
Which, by
distant
the way,
past.
that's Unbreakable. That's what I'm talking about. The one in the armor. Yeah. So he's facing off against this Uma, and I don't know if this was the one that kills her grandfather in the past or something like that. I don't know if this was that Uma in particular, but
Yeah.
again, Fugo comes and Yusei just cuts him in fucking half with that crescent undrawn. Undrawn crescent moon? How it slashed her? She
With the
slashed it
sword.
without drawing her blade.
Yeah, with the scabbard.
But that means she's beyond. There's Thorough, and then there's Yusei Habanabi.
What the hell? Is that her real last name?
No.
All right.
I did just make that up.
Okay.
So,
take your
but
word
that
for
was
it.
a cool ass move. She cut that Uma in half with the shit, with the hilt, and then drinks the yak.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is the best I can do, but I'm gonna have to train and put some work in to learn how to not use my sword." And Fuko's like, "Listen, you good. You good where you at. Don't worry about it." So, all right, so then they go talk to Ishin, and the nigga says like, "Yo, I'm gonna do anything for y'all. Just let me know." And as soon as they're like, "Look, we need you to take a real nigga journey with us to go defeat God," he's like, "Nah, I gotta take care of this village." You take your occultic ways.
Yeah.
And get the fuck on, all right?
We follow Christ here.
We fuck. Yes. I know of Jacob and his ladder.
Yes, I've read the stories, and I know them.
He slept on this stone, and God wrestled with him. Yeah, yeah. Look it up. Look it up.
We're
God
talking.
wrestled Jacob.
We're
Yep.
talking NCAA rules, NCAA regulated wrestling.
Yeah, he wrestled him and gave him knowledge. It's kind of weird, but I'm not gonna make any more comments on that. I don't want to offend anybody, right?
Nope.
And by anybody, I mean the Undead Unluck fans by not focusing on their story. So she's like, and he's like, look, I gotta, look after my village, and also I got this little granddaughter I want to stay and take care of. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Oh, her dad dies to a Uma, not the grandfather.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. So Fuko notices, like, oh, that's Haruka. That's the one from the loop. Now, Ishin and his son, which is Haruka's father, knows about the loop already. I guess because she just explained it to them, so they believe it. And like they see how Fuko really takes after Haruka, and they're like, damn, like you like well Fuko lets them know that like she went out like like she held it down to the end to try to defend me for our cause. So I guess I don't know. I guess something about that clicked in the grandfather. They said, you know what? I'm gonna fight, but not for y'all, for my granddaughter, so that she could live in a godless world. Yeah. That was spiteful. So
I'm trying to be better with the
immediately
soundboard.
they asked if they can make unbreakable rope. I wonder what they're going to use that for. So then we got to Brazil, where I thought they was about to pull up on top, and I was like, "Wait, no, he's in his father's nutsacks right now. He's not he's not alive. He wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, he's not even a sparkle in his father's eye.
Right, but it was unseen.
Have you seen?
A general piece of shit. I
right,
remember that.
Right. I was like remembering. It's like, who was he?
He did bad things,
but he was an asshole. I do remember he was.
And he got his fucking throat slit. Like it was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was wild, huh?
He really didn't have much screen time.
He was a villain.
And
he
was
like one of the bad
unseen. Yeah, both of them died. It was no unseen. Yeah, unseen dies twice, but he comes back to life
on the boat. Weird.
Right? He died on the boat, and he dies.
Well, because I guess like when you
they
die,
fight Autumn.
When you die, you. Oh no, that's unknown though. That's not him. That's not unseen. You talking about Unknown?
Maybe I'm confusing things because the invisible guy, it does come and it's supposed to kill somebody, and then they stop him from doing it. Man, that was a lot happened that time, but that's not really well, whatever. Look, he's out. He's scared. He doesn't want anything to do with them, with Fuko and his team, because he's a fucking lowlife and doesn't want to help anybody. And he just wants to use his invisible powers to look at girls in the bathroom and steal money from people, which I suppose is enticing, but I would opt for saving the world. I guess that makes me a good person.
Yeah, it does actually. Congratulations.
Easier said than done, though, right?
Yeah.
That could very well be me running for my life from Fuko and friends.
Fuko and friends.
I feel like, what y'all niggas need me for? He's a scientist. He can make y'all all invisible anyway. He can see me right now. He has technology that gets through my negator ability. That's not fair.
That's true.
I mean, I guess if you count clothing as technology, it blocks Fuko from using her negator ability.
Yeah.
I mean, clothing is technology.
Interesting. Is clothing technology?
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google that and see if it's considered technology.
For sure. It's like,
Anyway, You go on.
Anyway, so they're trying to catch this nigga with a butterfly net. It is hilarious, which he dodges, but then they corner her into the alley, which was the plan all along. As he runs into unavoidable, and yeah, I would have gave up right there because I wasn't trying to get knocked out by a world class boxer for any cause. You know what I'm saying? He runs right into him too.
Yeah,
like
clothing
a
is not
That's
technology. It's not technology.
Yes, it is.
There's clothing technology, but clothing is not technology.
The technology in clothing.
There is
like when you wear those breathable Nike shirts.
Yes, there's technology in clothing, but clothing is not technology.
That felt good. Correcting me.
I just wanted to make
sure. All the facts, bro.
I just wanted to make sure we got it right. Hey, we have a responsibility to not misinform people.
I wrote it as a title anyway. Clothing is a technology, so I guess.
Well, we can't use it now because it's not true.
Shit. Anyway, Voidvolk stops him with his unavoidable, and he has nowhere to go. So he tries to pull out a knife to stab Fugo, and she just, uses judo and fucking makes him scream uncle. That's it. He adds him to the team. They added 3 negators just like that. 1, 2, 3. Bang. Wow. Yeah. They got a whole squad.
Got the squad.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess I'll get into my thoughts. I enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. I was thrown off in the beginning, like Josh mentioned before. I was like, did I skip a chapter?
Yeah.
Because we're suddenly in the middle here, and Sword Girl is here. But no, it was just like a weird cold open. And it was really quick to get all these folks together, but I'm glad they kept fairly unfamiliar folks, like people we haven't spent a whole lot of time with, excluding Ishin, Unbreakable. We have a whole arc dedicated to the Unbreakable. But using Undraw and Unseen is interesting. I'm excited to see how they utilize Unseen, seeing as how he was a genuine villain back in the day, from what we remember. So I'm excited to see that. That one panel where Fuko is holding Haruka is adorable. I don't know why, but baby Haruka, just like the first thing I thought when I saw that, I was like, well, she looks like what my cat Gingerbread would look like if she were human.
That's a good cat.
Yeah, she's a little sweetie. She's not in here, but she's got crippling anxiety. Anyway, I really like that that little page there. I thought it was fucking adorable. I guess you got to do this. I guess you can't spend forever on recruiting your squad. So I don't mind the quick pace here in order to get to the big negator war that's coming up. I'm excited to see what happens next. I don't have any much else to say in that regard, but I liked it a lot. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought there was some funny moments. I like the pacing of it. I like how they just knocked out each negator one after another, so that we know we are getting into like this next little arc right here. Like I could tell, like we're gonna have a bit of time in this jungle area. And we're gonna get a lot of background about Billy too, probably, and Telly. So, do I have any specific thoughts? I feel like it's been a really long time since I broke anything down in Undead, but honestly, I don't have much. I wonder if there's gonna be a rivalry between the 3 girls, between Fuko, Yusei, and Unchange. You get her name, because they were all love interest of Andy.
Oh yeah, that's right? True.
All of them. He was actually like married to Yusei, I think.
I don't know. He wasn't, but like, I think like she kept trying to get him to marry her.
Yeah,
something like that. There was something between.
And he was like, yeah, in the future, if I don't have another girlfriend, gotcha,
man.
And she said, okay, and that was that. Yeah.
Just say no, bro. Don't lead her on.
Right. Piece of shit, man.
Yeah. Well, if that's all your thoughts, guess we could close out, right?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
for sure.
That was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're very happy for you guys to stick with us for a shorter show than usual, not too much shorter. We're clocking in at about 90 minutes here, where we usually get in at like 2 hours or so. So still a lot of content for you guys. I'm glad we could do that. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Find Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Gem City Josh on Twitter. Find Brian at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Find Brian's streaming at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Comment, please, on the show what you guys thought about the chapters, about the show in general, whether it's on the full version of the podcast or the little highlight breakouts we make for every chapter that we cover every week. Please do. That would be super cool. And while you're at it, subscribe to the podcast. Give us a subscribe. Give us a share. Share it if you enjoy the podcast. Let people know about it. Comment, like, do all the things. I don't know, man. Technology's hard. The algorithm's difficult. I don't even fucking try to deal with it anymore. You guys do it. You guys get the word out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. The people who do listen every week, we very much appreciate it. Even if it's for 1 or 2 series or whatever, I see you and I appreciate you. It always brings me a little bit of joy when we get a bunch of watchers and listeners. So always thankful. And audio podcast as well. If you listen to audio podcasts, we're pretty much everywhere. And you could take us on the go. You don't have to rely on YouTube specifically. And with that being said, that's been our show for today. We'll see you next week, where we got a lot of shit to talk about in one day. So stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening.